liberation greetings to all and sundry, my people of southern Cameroons, my dear fellow warriors of our liberation movement, great people of Ambazonia, accept liberation greetings from me, Comrade John Akuro, this day, the 25th day of March, and today is Tuesday, 2025. I'm delighted to be back on this set, and I'm glad that you two are also hanging in there tight and making sure that we contribute our quota to ensuring the freedom of our land and that we are able to put in all we can do to ensure that the people of La République du Cameroon do walk out of our land once and for all. If you're just joining in, then know that we are just at the beginning, and so you are right on time. And so make sure you go ahead to share the link and share as much as possible so that we get as many people as possible to be part of this very important communication. My dear people of Ambazonia, I like to say today's broadcast is very special. Special because some of the things that we have continually told our people, and that sometimes we have some doubting Thomases loitering around and confusing them, and they think that perhaps what we are fighting is something really not worth it. I guess that at the end of today's broadcast, a lot of them will understand exactly where we are coming from. A lot of them will understand exactly what is at stake. And those who have never really been part of this freedom movement, of this liberation movement, will understand the need or will see the need to come in. I must announce here today that there are quite a lot of people who have reached out to me and told me that, in fact, in the beginning, they thought this was just, some kind of lousy play, and they kept drinking a lot of the falsehood and manipulations from the Republic of Cameroon and my country people them, and the members of the CPDM crime syndicate. But today, their eyes are fully open, and they now understand that this is a noble cause and that this is the only thing that anyone would, in the right senses, should devote their mind to doing if you are a Southern Cameroonian and if you are an Ambazonian. Some told me they were particularly pleased to understand that we've been doing a lot of work on the ground, reaching out to our foot soldiers to go out there and work in the interest of the people. They were particularly enthused with the activities of our foot soldiers and the contacts that they've made with the self-defense fighters, with our freedom fighters, with the Southern Cameroon's army. And so they are happy that in the end, especially those in Mezam County, that the quarry activities may resume full scale in a lot of places in the days ahead. They are hopeful that this, those boys, that freedom fighters really come through on their promise. I'm delighted to get this feedback. There are some who told me I've never had to contribute anything to the activities of the foot soldiers, like you always call and ask, but I'm so moved to do something this time because of what I have seen. And I said, listen, it is your duty to form your freedom. If you feel like them and you feel like you need to do something to fund our liberation movement, to particularly fund the activities of these foot soldiers, these civilians who move from one locality to the other on a daily basis, especially on foot, on bikes sometimes even on horses, to see to it that we are protecting the interests of the civilian population. Then you can use the outlet on the scroll, PayPal or Zelle. Use amberrelief2018@gmail.com, and your contribution will come right through. That said, my people, let us set the tone for today's conversation with this very important thought that is now, I know our people really understand me when I say there were prophets who talked about the situation of the Southern Cameroons right in 1961. There are those who spoke even before 1961 about the situation in the Southern Cameroons and warned that any association with La République du Cameroon was going to be deadly. One of them was the very Secretary General of the United Nations at the time, Dag Hammarskjöld. And Dag Hammarskjöld did not mince his words. You can see that on my screen there, what Dag Hammarskjöld said. He did not mince his words. He was clear, he was straight about it. Sometimes I'm even tempted to think that the assassination of Dag Hammarskjöld, that the plane that crashed with him inside, that plane was that act was deliberate because the British and the French were really determined to see how to keep southern Cameroons where we are today for their pecuniary interest. Because he said, uniting the southern Cameroonians to the Cameroon Republic is like forcing a balloon under the sea. One day it will come out. It came out in 2016. It has started coming out gradually. The signs were there. People did not see. But 2016 was the turning point, and 2017 was a departure point. And today, everyone can see that Dag Hammarskjöld was a prophet. Dag Hammarskjöld made clear in triumphant terms, he was a UN Secretary General from 1953 to 1961. He made this very clear. It's not like they were not warned. But today we still have some people in our communities. We still have some people in our society. We still have those members of the CPDM crime syndicate who don't see us as humans, who don't see us as a people who deserve, to be treated like humans, who don't see us as a people who deserve to aspire to a better life, who see us only as objects, as their capital, their social or political capital that they need to use to get cheap sinecure positions in the government of La République du Cameroun, positions of assistance, positions of ministers without portfolio, positions of prime minister assigned with reading newspapers and watching television. That is all they think. They still have the guts unto this day to want to continue tying us to La République du Cameroun, despite all what we have seen and are still seeing until this moment. My people, away from that thought by Dag Hammarskjöld, and before we delve into the specific discussions we have today, in my last communication, I shared a talk about this gentleman that you see on my screen. And his name is Dion, Frudio, and I said it's based in Douala. And I said this gentleman is the one who in Chomba is supplying information, giving people's names, setting people up to be killed through Nkonda titles of my country people. And I guess the feedback too was very great. A lot of people in Chomba, a lot of ordinary people in Chomba have reached out and have even given me more names and sent more pictures. But you know what? I'll tell you this. On this platform, I like to build. On this platform, I like to continue to protect the lives of our civilians. Because I say this, you involve yourself in these stupid things. You play the informer to somebody like Titus Nkonda of my country people then, who has no interest in seeing you stay alive, who has no interest in seeing you live a better life, who has no interest in ensuring your safety, who has interest only in demonstrating to La République du Cameroun as much as possible that he can set up his own people to be killed in the interest of La République du Cameroun. You are gambling with your life. This is what General Ivan Ba used to refer to this as: you take your life, you play Tabala. So those of you in Chomba who are still involved in that kind of dangerous game, be very careful. Because as I say, if you are communicating with Nkonda titles, I already have your name right here and your picture. But I always like, as much as possible, to take more time to educate than to be, because this game, let's keep putting the pictures, the faces, the names and everything out there. La République du Cameroun is excited to see us killing ourselves. Because you see, even this gentleman's sister, this is sister whom I showed in my last video, who escaped to Yaoundé along with a truck and 2 pickups that previously belonged to the late fallen General Foolishman and her husband, this one. You know, these people, they did not just escape to Yaoundé because they wanted to escape from the people. They were running more from the army, the soldiers of La République du Cameroon, because they were after their lives. And despite knowing this, her own brother, Mr. Frudio, prefers to go out there, setting up other innocent people in the community to be killed. You want to know? This building that you are seeing, that I'm about to show you, that has been burnt and destroyed, is a building belonging to this lady, the sister to Mr. Frudio. Take a watch. That building that you are seeing, that has been destroyed, burned, it belongs to Mr. Dio's sister and her husband, the two that I just showed a while ago, who have escaped to Yaoundé. This building is located in Ndimako quarters, and Ndimako quarters in Chomba shares boundaries, it's on the borders with Balinyonga. The soldiers of La République du Cameroon went and burned this house because they tried to lay hands on Mr. Dio's sister and the husband and miss them, and because they are aware that they are in possession of the truck and vehicles that the late General Foolishman was using. That is what they have been after them. And Mr. Frudio knows this, and he prefers to go dealing with the same people who are after the life of his sister and her husband. This is the real definition of witchcraft. Because if this is not witchcraft, I don't know what else witchcraft will really look like. This is the building. This is in Ndimako quarters in Chomba, where they share boundaries with Bali. See, a whole beautiful house like that raised down completely by the dogs of La République du Cameroon. Yet there are people in Chomba who are still swearing by the colonial administration of La République du Cameroon. As I said a while ago, that this is witchcraft. Pure and simple. I'm going to get into some other little news items before we get to the beef of our conversation today, which regards the huge scandal that happened at the Prime Minister's office. So I'd like us also to take a look at this. You know, I've said a lot of the times that the big benefit we've gotten from La République du Cameroon for over 60 years and counting is rampant poverty. Look at this, is an accident that occurred in Dibanda Hills, on the Dibanda Hill, somewhere in Fako, and this is the people's reaction.
Mami, Yoy, my papa. Not nothing, no ever lost, no nothing. Where? You don't bad. Wow.
Understanding. First of all, the safety of people first. They are only looking for bimbo to drink.
I tell you. My wonderful thing. I come say I know go drink obo.
That's a good morning time.
I say I know go fit drink. They want to feed the cord again. They want to put the rope. Wow. They want to pull again.
Fine.
No, they are drunk. They are drunk. Other one have watched.
My dear people, this is early in the morning. There's an accident that occurs. People get to the scene. What they are most interested in is free goods, free drinks. That's what they enjoy most. You see, nobody is bothering them. "Oh, what happened to the driver? Did they hit some other person? No. This is what happens when the people are impoverished beyond limits. That every little thing to them, even the misfortune of another person, of one among them, turns out to them more like manna from heaven. This is the kind of life that La République du Cameroon has exposed our people to for over 6 decades. This is exactly what we are running away from. We are no longer the kind of people that we were. We are no longer the nice people that we were. We are no longer the empathetic people that we were. We are no longer those kind of people who were purpose-filled that we were, because of the influence of La République du Cameroon, because of the enforcement of poverty as a social policy by Mr. Paul Biya on our people. These are things I decry, and I decry on a daily basis. And I tell my people of Ambazonia, we must not rest. We cannot rest. We must not relent. No matter the circumstances, wherever you are, even if the least you have is still just the last energy that you can manage, there is something you can do to push this liberation movement forward. Even if it is just sharing links, like the link to this communication. Even if it is just sharing link, like the links to other communications that mobilize our people, embolden our people, strengthen our people, you can do that. I'm in pains, but I can't afford not to come here. We must all continue to put our hands on deck until we see La République du Cameroon kicked out of our land. Take a look at this picture. This is, you see, that's a picture of the president and his wife. Standing on what? Those are the things that have gone to distribute to people whose houses and belongings and businesses and everything were swept by floods in northern Cameroon. Swept by flood. Why? As a result of poor government policies. Because they are not ready to provide solutions to the people's problems. They prefer you to continue facing those problems every day, so that they come to you constantly as Father Christmas, as benefactors, and then you crawl on your stomach, you roll on your back to thank them for coming to your rescue. You see them as your gods. That's why you see the picture and pompously put the pictures of the president and his wife on them. That's the people's bread of sorrow. And this is what we see all over La République du Cameroon. And they're exporting this useless attitude into the southern Cameroons. My people of Ambazonia, nothing could be more painful. While they do this, you expect that they will put policies in place to ensure that this kind of things never happen. Never. If they do that, they will never be able to control your mind. If they do that, you will not find yourself all the time completely impoverished and they just come around and flatter you with a few things. At that time, you see them like your God. And you find them getting into the streets and singing trash. Paul Biya, not your president. That's what it is. And this is not of us. This is not how the Southern Cameroons community was run. This is not what the people of the Southern Cameroons want for themselves. I'm bringing this all the time so that we see. And my people, all they do when they loiter around the camp, they will send people to come and show you some fictitious media and say, oh, you see, everything is gone. We're about to ensure stability. We are a haven of peace. Probably the apostle of peace, prince of peace. It's even Jesus Christ and all of those things. Everything is coming. No. La République du Cameroon is crumbling. La République du Cameroon is crumbling. It's a failed state that failed so many years back that we need to dissociate ourselves from. Redefine our development priorities. Redefine the vision of our country. restore the soul of our land, and focus on making our country a place to be. My people of Ambazonia, you see, our people are worried all over the world where we are. When you hear governments talking about, especially in the West, in the Western world, making immigration policies tougher, ensuring people must meet this kind of standards, ensuring, like in the United States, you've heard a proposal from the President Donald J. Trump, who says, henceforth, you want green card, you need to buy the gold card. And that gold card, what is the price tag? $5 million. How many of you can afford that? How many of our people can afford that? Even if you sell all the land in your village, you don't have $5 million. Go $5 million, go to 3 billion. Approximately, over 3 billion in CFA. We need to take back our country, restore the soul of our land, define a new vision for our country so we have a place we call homeland, so that we will not find ourselves trapped in a situation where we must be hanging in other people's land in order to make it, because that's the only place we can be. People have a right to toughen immigration policies in their countries. They are their countries. We have our own countries. What have we done with our own countries? We made a mess of them. You are here, we say, rise up and join. Let us fight to send the colonial administration of the Republic of Cameroon out of our land. Restore our land so we can have homeland to go back to. And you say you're very comfortable where you are. I see a lot of our people running helter-skelter, wondering how will tomorrow look like. Will I still be where I am, and all of those things? This is a time more than ever before for all of us to rise to the occasion and fight for what we believe in. Look at this, is La République du Cameroun being charged there. There was a Boko Haram attack in northern La République du Cameroon that was extremely devastating. And I say, La République du Cameroon is a country full of too many challenges they really can't stand. Yet, they tell you and they tell me that they will be able to take care of you and me. They can't even take care of themselves. They can't ensure their own security. They can't ensure their own protection. They can't ensure their own development. They can't even change their own system of governance to something that they all like. You think that the mantle to change your lives. My people of Ambazonia. This happened this 25th, today. It was not yesterday. This devastation by Boko Haram in this locality that you are seeing. Over 10 La République du Cameroon soldiers lost their lives inside there, and the people devastated the place, as you can see here. Burned vehicles, burned all kinds of things. The gory images of the soldiers whose lives were taken are so bad that I can't share here. But this, my country, my people of Ambazonia, beg your pardon, is to tell you, is to tell me that we need to take over our land, make our land secure, make our land peaceful, make our land a development haven. La République du Cameroon, as you see it, is a kingdom divided upon itself. And a kingdom divided upon itself cannot stand. Why do you want to be unevenly yoked with such a system? Look at even just the matters of football. This year, they have a match this day, as I'm talking, against Libya. I don't know if it's today or when, against Libya. And as you see here, they say because of the intestinal fight that is going on between the Cameroon Football Federation and the Ministry of Sports. You will read here that while Fecafoot has hired so many people and is sponsoring them into the sports stadium in Yaoundé, the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium in Yaoundé, that they should go there, and if their team is defeated, they should boo the coach, I think it's a Belgian-born coach, Marc Brice, brought in by the Minister of Sports and Physical Education that is here, Narcisse Mwele-Kombi. And upon hearing this, Narcisse Mwele-Kombi did not sit up to, he also went out to use their taxpayers' money to do what? To also hire a counter set of people He will also be at the Yaoundé Amadou Ahidjo Stadium to do what? To sing the praises of the Belgian Mark Breeze, whatever the circumstances. Look at something. That is a country. That's the kind of place you want to find yourself in. The people cannot help themselves. This divide and rule, a lot of our people think that this divide and rule is being exercised only on the people of Ambazonia, where they want to make us feel some people are southwest, others are northwest, and these are people who cannot see eyeball to eyeball. No, it stretches right into their land. Some of that foreign news I brought was just to let us have a tempo of what is happening on the other way. Of course, you know that the same soldiers of La République du Cameroun faced serious vicissitudes in Bello 2 days ago. That was on the 23rd, where 4 of their soldiers met their doom at the checkpoint. 1 was killed, and 3 were captured alive and taken away by freedom fighters in Ambazonia. La République du Cameroun continues to face these vicissitudes across the board. My people of Ambazonia, like I said, that is the newsy aspect of it. Let us now get into the beef of our discussion. But before we do that, let's take a short trip to Scotland. Okay, thank you very much. This very beautiful number from Scotland, that is from Bui County in Ambazonia. My dear people of Ambazonia, let's get now into the beef of our discussion. A few days ago, Mr. or let me say Chief Dr. Joseph Dion Ngute, who passes for Prime Minister in La République du Cameroun. They say he is Prime Minister and Head of Government in La République du Cameroun. And of course, we have seen all across the board that he is not. He's just there for name. Called a meeting. And I said, those are the only things I allow him to do. Another meeting to blindfold the people of the Southern Cameroons by making lousy claim that there were some special projects put in place to, make life easier, better for the people of the Southern Cameroons as a result of some moribund discussion they held called Grand National Dialogue. And that we have all called today the Grand National Monologue. My dear people of Ambazonia, sometimes we say these things and we laugh, but they are not things that we should laugh over. Because you expect that people should consider, they should give us some little, how should I call it? They should give us some little consideration that we too have brains, that we are capable of seeing things, hearing them, and processing them. Hell no. A lot of the times, they think that we are just fools. We know nothing and we can understand nothing. It is on those counts that John Good will sit and call people from all over and say, come and let's evaluate the state of execution of projects that were put in place as a result of Grand National Dialogue. It came short of saying as part of the special status. And as one of them, look at this. This document you find here is a contract, is an award. You hear me? Is an award. It shows that the government of La République du Cameroun, somewhere in 2002, awarded a contract. They awarded that contract to a member of parliament. He used to be a member of parliament. Although it was widely known that his election was rigged for him to go to parliament. That is why one Henry, who is from Lower Menchum, will never ever, will never ever forgive him. Says that the election was rigged to favor him. And so therefore, this Walan of a man today says he has executed a contract of road leading to Baoro from Benakuma, and that contract is about 93% completion. Yes, over 93% completion. That contract was awarded by the Ministry of Public Works. That contract was about the construction of some parts of the road. And listen, it was not construction, it was maintenance. Maintenance. Because it is written here, very clear here, that decision number whatever to award the contract relating to the consultation, and see, it was by mutual. The consultation by mutual agreement following authorization number 002157 L, President of the Republic, Menepad, Secretary General, whatever, of 11th of May 2022 for the execution of periodic maintenance works. Listen well, periodic maintenance works on National Earth Road number 11, Baoro, and it says it's even Limbe, Baoro, Limbe, Northwest, Akwaya, through Akwaya to Nigerian border in the Western Network, Northwest and Southwest regions. Financing that's the budget of the Ministry of Finance for the year 2022. And this contract, when you look at the cost of it, and I like us to underline key words in this whole thing. You look at the cost of it, it says it is about 900, because the total comes up to well over 997,555,458. This is CFA. This is approximately 1 billion CFA. Just call it 1 billion CFA, because when you hear 997,500,000, that tells you this is 1 billion CFA francs that has been put aside to do what he calls it periodic maintenance. How does periodic maintenance of a road find its way into something you call special status? How? Can someone explain this to me? Because before I get into the beef of the scandal, first of all, tell me how the periodic maintenance of a road, this road normally should be maintained. So if there was no grand national dialogue, if there was no such nonsense talk as special status, they will not carry out road maintenance in the southern Cameroons, which they claim is part and parcel of their territory. Because it's periodic maintenance of Earth Road. But now they tell you that's a landmark project being part of projects that were put in place as a result of the so-called Grand National Dialogue. What a disgrace this is. I mean, a massive disgrace. And this road has to join with a road that's coming in from Nigeria. You go on the Nigerian side, it's a super highway. That, like you have never seen before. That, with several coats of tar. This is the insult that I keep talking about. This is the embarrassment that I keep talking about. Some people think this is a joke. No. Imagine for Nganu Jumesi to go out there, that is going to sit through a meeting chaired by Joseph John Ngute, the son or chief of Bogongo, Indian County, a Kondotiti local government area. Say that you are sitting to preside over a meeting to evaluate landmark projects that came in as a result of the so-called Grand National Dialogue, meant to appease the people of the southern Cameroons to believe and understand that La République du Cameroun loves us. And what are you getting there? Over $1 billion francs for periodic maintenance of roads. Period in is something that is normally ongoing, that has to go on all the time. It's earth roads. My people of Ambazonia, for those who do not know, PWD, what we call Public Works Department, PWD in the days maintained the roads in the southern Cameroons every year at specific moment of the year to ensure that even our earth roads were passing all season. All season. The people were trained to understand that these things were programmed. Road maintenance will not become like a grant. Road maintenance will not become like something which is a gift. A gift. Road maintenance will become like something that's a landmark project that was given because the people were expressing frustration and all whatnot. Road maintenance will become like road maintenance was a normalcy in the southern Cameroons. And this was ensured by PWD. When we unfortunately got unevenly yoked with La République du Cameroun, President Amadou Ahidjo's administration made sure they shipped all the caterpillars from PWD to Yaoundé because they could not sit and watch the autonomous manner and the well-programmed approach in which activities were carried out in our land. We need to centralize everything in Yaoundé and make sure we will depend on them for everything. Even to maintain our own roads, we need to depend on them. This is the same syndrome. And today it has been taken to serious points of ridicule. And even this so-called maintenance of this earth road, then Nganu Jumesi sat and said, was already executed to 93%. This is something I talk of 2022. Periodic needs is something that has to be done yearly, annually. But this is a project handed out on the 8th of August, 2002. It's in 2025. That I tell you that this project handed out in 2022 is nearing its completion at 93%. It is a shame and it is an embarrassment. You see here they say the period of execution, because there's always put a period of execution. Phase 1, 6 months. Phase 2, 6 months. Phase 3, 6 months. Total, 18 months. 18 months. 18 months. We're about 1 year, 6 months. From 2002, August 2002, August 2003, 1 year. Then, the rest of 2003. By January of 2024, you have your 18 months. We're talking in March of 2025. But this roads should be maintained every year. But now, it's part of the Grand National Dialogue. And the way they were talking about it during that presentation, the way Nganu Jumesi, this Nganu Jumesi you see like this, the way this Nganu Jumesi was talking about it could give the impression to everyone, because he gave that impression to the former moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon that the road was being transformed into some superhighway tight and beautiful. That's a picture that was being presented and which led the right Reverend Funky Samuel Foba to cry foul on the spot, embarrassing Ganu Jumesi right before Joseph John Ngute. Let's listen to what the Right Reverend Samuel Funky Foba said.
Dear brothers and sisters of this great forum, a forum of peace builders, a forum of talented gentlemen and ladies, I want to use this opportunity to thank all of you for the collaboration you gave me as your son and your brother during our peace talks. And last Sunday, I handed over officially the pictorial cross to the new moderator. I want to thank each one of you for the prayers and the support you gave me. Immediately after that ceremony on Sunday, yesterday, Monday, I took off for Yaoundé because the Prime Minister invited me to be part of the follow-up committee of the Grand National Dialogue. To my greatest shock and surprise, Minister Jumesi, the Minister of Public Works, got up and said the Bauru Akwaya Nigeria border road has been done up to 93% by Honorable Walang. Immediately he finished, I got up and objected that there is nothing like that. There is no road done in that area. And so the man left in shame. I went and stayed outside.
Now, let me interrupt the Right Reverend Samuel Funky Foba. I know a lot of people have insulted him thoroughly on social media forums, saying, where is he coming from today? Why is he crying today? Why didn't he say these things? Why he was still moderator? And he's part of the problem and all of those things. Me, I like to look at things from the positive end. I always like to see the how do you call it? I like to see the glimmer of light in all the darkness that can surround me. You see, at least he is talking. Even if he was not talking before, now he is talking. He had the opportunity to say something and he didn't miss the opportunity. So let's look at that silver of light, this glowing darkness that we could call the life of the former moderator. But there is something here. The moderator said the person who has supposedly executed that contract and supposedly handed the people of Benakuma, Bauro, Akwaya, leading right towards Nigeria, this wonderful road, this wonderful road network is Walang Richard Ebua. Walang Richard Ebua is a son of Menchum. Walang Richard Ebua is an indigene of Menchum. Incidentally, Walang Richard Ebua is claiming, because now he's an impostor, that he is member of parliament of this particular area. That is Womb Central and Menchum Valley. Womb Central and Menchum Valley. That he is a parliamentarian for these people. That is the person, as he claims, who is supposed to advocate for the people of this area. I had passed through Befa, Benakuma, to Bauro, and then crossed in water to get into Nigeria. When I was a high school student in JHS Mbengui, we often did that. We often went out there to go on those picnics, to go visit Nigeria. It was fun. But I bet you that road from time immemorial was horrible. Horrible. I mean horrible. To the point where people going to Nigeria for little short holidays or few days to use money that we save from clearing bushes left and right to buy land material or buy other things from there, would prefer to rather go all the way to Womb. Take a car to Way. Either you begin trekking from Way or you have the luxury to take a car again to Esu. And you begin trekking from Esu through the place they call Ali Baba. You get into the forest and keep going until you get to a place called Alang. Alang is in the deep of the forest. That's where you will get into a boat and go come out in Kashimbiala so that you can travel to Nigeria through Takum. That's in Taraba State. And I bet you it was at that time, it was 1993 when I did that. We were moving through that forest after you leave after you leave Isu. You have to check when you are going for 9 to 10 hours. 9 to 10 hours to get to Alam. But trust me, deep inside that forest, you will meet the boundary pillar where it is clearly written the boundary between the southern Cameroons and the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the deep of the forest. And when you come out of this forest, the first Nigerian town, the first Nigerian road that you meet is Super Tart roads. So going through Baoro, you could avoid the trekking. But because of the nature of the road, people preferred going through Alam and then paying people. There was a gentleman that used to call him Rambo. Rambo because they will carry, when you buy your things that come, you pay them a lot of money to carry the things for you up the hills. On the return trip, you must sleep on the way because it was about 15 to 16 hours of trekking. And so this is that Baoro road that someone in 2025 is saying they have constructed to up to 98%, or rather 93%. So it's just about 7% for it to be completed. They say constructed. So what does I say? Gosh. So it means that from Bifang, Benakuma, right down to Baoro, then to Akwaya, now the road is super tight. No, before I come back to Honorable Walang, I just want to take a quick look at the road as it is today, this minute I'm talking about. Take a look. This is that road there. This is part of that road that you are seeing. This is part of that road. These pictures are not old. Those are pictures of a few days ago. This is the road. A landmark project being given to the people of the Southern Cameroons as appeasement, as part of the so-called Grand National Dialogue. If you don't know the meaning of embarrassment, this is the road. My goodness, that is the road. No, I will come back to the road. Let's finish with the Right Reverend Funky.
I don't know what I called Walang, but he called the delegate of Public Works, and then he sent words to his representative who was in the hall to tell us that the delegate has confirmed that that road has been done 93%. Dear brothers and sisters of this great forum, if we don't fight this with our blood, we will never have a road in our area. It will take another 20, 30 years. So what I'm proposing is that...
Did you hear it? Dear brothers, dear sisters of this great forum, if we don't fight this with our blood, exactly what we have been doing since 2017. Oh, did I say 2017? Since 2016. Don't ever forget that Akum Julius was killed on the 8th of December 2016 when we were still leading peaceful protests. my people of Ambazonia. You hear? This is the Right Reverend Funky talking. If we don't fight this with our blood, I've said this several times. For those who sit somewhere and make noise and say, oh, this thing is over, by day and by night, ever more of the 2% of Southern Cameroonians who have been living in doubt, who have been living in limbo, who have been dreaming that something good can come out of La République du Cameroon, are understanding that we have to fight with our blood. It is only by fighting with our blood that we will be able to secure a free homeland, that we will be able to have the possibility to define our own development priorities, that we will be able to develop our land, that we will be able to create a place we will call homeland, that we will be able to assure a future for our children and our children's children and generations of Southern Cameroonians to come. It is done for the Right Reverend Funky. He's up from slumber. He can now see clearly that things are horrible. And he's not alone. Eh? Here is Archbishop Andrew Kia.
The road to womb is bad. My one simple question is, does the government not know? And if the government knows, who do they give the contract to maintain the womb road every year? We must hold that person to account for the fact that the womb road is not well done. We must get the road of womb to be passing. I must say this to you. Commercial vehicles don't go down to womb anymore. Only motorbikes. And to go to womb on a motorbike, you pay 20,000 one way. And to come back, you pay another 20,000. 40,000 to go to womb and come back. And if you don't want to pay 20,000, look for somebody with whom you can double on the motorcycle. Where do you see this on earth? What have the Menchu people done to suffer like this? And I think that on that, the road to womb is...
Where do you see this on earth? Why should the Menchu people suffer like this? Why should the people of the Southern Cameroon suffer like this? Because it's not only Menchum. We're talking about Menchum today. Chief Dr. Joseph John Ngute, can you go to Bogongo? Because by the time you leave Kumba, you start getting towards the road going to Bole. You're already in very serious tantrums. By the time you start nearing the road that will go to towards Mbonge, you are in serious pains. By the time you pass Big Nganjo, Small Nganjo, you can weep. I mean weep to deadly point. And then by the time you take the branch now to get to a community that you are going to pass through Bogongo, the village of Joseph John Ngute, gosh, you would do like this. What have the people of the Southern Cameroons done? Not only the people of Menchum, not only the people of Ekondo Titi, not only the people of Dion. What have the people of Kupemwanenguba done? Because 33 kilometers, 33 from Bangem to Melon. Professor Elvis Ngole, I hope you are watching me. Of course, I know you do watch sometimes. Professor Elvis Ngole. Recall, we took 9 hours with you from Bangem to get to Melon. 33 kilometers. Why? And we're not going like that to Melon. We were actually trying to pass through there to go to Tombel. Still in Kupemwanenguba. Because we could not do the 57 kilometers that lead Bangem to Tombel. That would have been 3 days. 3 days. And make no mistake, we were with brand new Prados. 4-wheel drive, all those cars. 9 hours on 33 kilometers. Can somebody leave from Bangem and drive very peacefully and get to Ibamut, the village of the late commissaire divisionnaire? who was chief of Daddy Bamboo. Can you? Can you leave Banken very easily and drive to Ngute, passing through DBC 1, DBC 2, and then, through all those roads? You can't. Is it because there is a village in Meme that I enjoy so much? That village is called Koto Barumbi. I call it the island village. Beautiful village. That village is in the island, Koto Barumbi. Oh my goodness. If you go there and you cross into the island village and sleep inside there, you will not want to, you will say, that would be a major tourist attraction. But to leave from Kumba to get to Koto Barumbi, die. It's terrible. What have the people of Meme done? What have the people of the southern Cameroons done? You would think that it is only those parts. Go to Fako too. Leave from Moyoka and say you want to go to Ide now, without necessarily having to drive all the way to Boya, then go down to Mutengene, then start going through that way to find your way through Limbe before you go to Ide now. Of course, there's a road that you can leave Moyoka and just go around the mountain and get to Ide now. That you pass through Bafia, Abia, and all of those places. Is a road passable? No way. No way. Who did this to us? Who did this to us? We are bringing it upon ourselves. Because rather than rising up, all of us, quickly, like one man, with full determination, to stand for that which we believe in, to stand for this truth, this sacrosanct truth, that we were never part of La République du Cameroon, and we are not part of that failure. We say no. People like this ones, like Walan Richard Ebua, will kill all of you before he seeks to hear you say, we don't belong with La République du Cameroon. Why? Because of these like these ones. Because on the blood of the people, on the sufferings of the people, he is making his money. It's the same thing with Wangala Gerard, who is out there in Dongamanto. That the same set of people move around, call themselves honorable. That is him, presiding over the suffering, promoting the suffering of his own people, and selling a huge lie, selling a mirage. Right, Reverend Funky? Let's be done with you.
Since we have our boys in SCB, from Benahundu right up to Benade, right to Bauru, they should do a video of that road. They should take a whole day and do a video.
I hope you heard what he said. Since we have our boys, everybody knows that these boys are there giving their lives so that we may be free. We will deny them. We will curse them. We will call them names. But when the truth begins to haunt us, we recognize that they are there. Continue.
Video of that road on foot, gently making commentaries in pidgin. If they cannot speak English, they make commentary in pidgin till they reach the end of the road in Bauru. Then they cross over. If we have some Berlin boys that we can contact, they cross over and take the same measures and take the road from the bridge right up to Berlin Market. Then when we have these videos, we'll write an official letter. I'll send it directly. I'll go right to the Prime Minister's office and hand this letter to him, including the videos, so that Walang and whoever has chopped that money will be called to book, and that road must be done. That road must be done. So that's what I'm pleading with all of us, that we should stand together on this and send those boys to video that road for us.
We shall not stand together only on this. We must all stand together on the freedom, total freedom of Ambazonia. It is only when we send these people out of our land, when we send these invaders out of our land, that we will be able to properly develop our land. While the Right Reverend Funky was crying and talking, unknown to him, he did not know that according to the contract, the terms of the contract given to Wallan Richard Eboa, nothing is going to happen to him. No heads are going to roll. Because Wallan Richard Eboa was simply given a contract to carry out periodic maintenance of the footpath that exists there called road. Wallan Richard Eboa was not contracted to construct a road. It is written in that contract you see there on my screen in black and white. So written there. For the execution of periodic maintenance works. Execution of periodic maintenance works on National Earth Road number 11. Maintenance. Ganu Jumesi comes and sits in a forum to try and give the impression right before the so-called Prime Minister, head of government, son of the Southern Cameroons, that as part of the Grand National Dialogue, 1 billion was set aside and a wonderful road, some beautiful road now exists between Baoro, Akwaya, leading to Nigeria. Oh yes, very pompously and executed by a son of the soil, Wallan Richard Eboa. The Prime Minister, Joseph Dion Ngute, will sit there and say, yes, I told you that La République du Cameroon is doing its best, everything to see to it that we have good life. This is what I've been telling you. They are doing everything for us, my people. This is the everything that they are doing for us. That's it all. Fund your liberation movement. Fund this struggle. Fund your freedom. Like I said, if you have somewhere else where you are providing funding for the purpose of ensuring that we have freedom, continue to give the money there. If you want to fund our foot soldiers who are doing an incredible job helping to expose things like this, go to PayPal and Zelle as you see on your screen. amberrelief2018@gmail.com. My people, I will still stick this information. I will make it, I will pin it at the top of the comment section on this video. So don't worry if you don't look at it very well. I want to go back down there and let us see those roads very well. So given, actually Wallan, this is your gift from the Grand National Monologue. Look at it. That is what you get from 2022 to 2025. That is your gift from the Grand National Monologue. Really, Agbobala, I hope you two are watching. When you people sit down and talk about that nonsense, that special status, this is it that you can see. Look at it. If this is not an insult, I don't know what other name you want to call it. Look at it. I say, if this is not an insult, I really want to know by what name you will call it. So, that is your all-season road. That's your beautiful road. It cannot last 1 week. That's the footpath. That's the footpath that they are referring to as being a product of the so-called Grand National Dialogue. That's a footpath that you see. And look at what it is. Verily, verily, I say unto you, my people of Ambazonia, we have to fight, and fight like hell. If we don't fight like one people who know that we are on our own, that the destiny of our land is in our hands, we will never get to where we want to go to. Take this from me. That was your road. And that is why I can feel the pain of the Right Reverend Funky Samuel Foba. Let's finish with him.
So that we can have a case. We should do it as soon as possible. If you hear this message and you have somebody that can do it for us, and even if that person needs some money for the trekking from maybe Befang right down to Bauru, I will pay. I will pay. And if that arrangement is made, tell me how much the boys are asking. I'll send you the money to give them. We must have this case.
You see? You see? I said this thing, and I'm repeating it every day. Join the morning train. Join the liberation train. The only way we ever get to make our country worthy of what it should be will be by kicking La République du Cameroun out of our land. Don't expect La République du Cameroun that cannot fix their own roads to come and fix our roads. You have seen the roads in Kuseri. You have seen the roads in Port South region. You have seen nothing to show for it. And you expect that those are the kind of people who will take you to economic emergence. Those are the kind of people who will transform your lives. Those are the kind of people that you should remain unevenly yoked with. And so people are then talk about regime change as a panacea. My dear people of Ambazonia, wake up from sleep. The Right Reverend Samuel Funky Foba is up from sleep. You too can get up.
On the table of the Prime Minister as soon as possible. God bless you, my dear brothers and sisters. There is no way that we can stop fighting for our people. There is no way that we can stop peace in our area.
So, did you hear that? Keywords. And that's our takeaway from him. There is no way that we can stop fighting for our people, said the Right Reverend Funky Samuel Foba. There is no way that we can stop fighting for our people. You who are sleeping, you who are telling yourself, oh, something on the say, oh, you and I are Ambazonia, you and I are Southern Cameroons. Listen, hear it. Go back to some of his declarations before and come to his declaration now. The scales always end up falling from people's eyes. And we must recognize that. There is no way we can stop fighting for our people. There is no way we can stop fighting for a free homeland. There is no way we can stop fighting to liberate the Southern Cameroons, aka Ambazonia. If you are thinking there is another way, you're not hearing it only from me. You are hearing it too now from who? From the Right Reverend Funky Samuel Foba, Moderator Emeritus of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. I'd like us to end with this one. I've had a habit of bringing them sometimes, but I want to bring it now more often. Because the French are playing some manipulations around. Of course, I hear that they are going to be in Arusha, Tanzania. If not publicly, at least they are going to be there, just like HD always appears in places. They are going to be there in the background to try and deceive you and I that something good can come out of us staying in any form of union with La République du Cameroun. And this is Tibor Nagy, our good friend, saying, imagine how supportive France would be of Southern Cameroonian and Ambazonian rights if region spoke French. and the Yaoundé regime was Anglophone, instead of vice versa. France will be all in on Ambazonians choosing their fate, as De Gaulle was saying, "Vive le Québec libre." De Gaulle saying, "Vive le Québec libre." That long live a free Quebec. It meant long live an independent Quebec. France would have been on every rooftop saying, "Long live an independent Ambazonia. Long live an independent Southern Cameroon." My dear people of Ambazonia, let us never be fooled. These are voices of our friends, opening our eyes to a reality we ourselves already know. But for emphasis, I'll keep bringing this here. And I'm telling you verily, verily, we have to fight, and fight like hell, to make sure we safeguard and protect homeland. Fight like hell. Even the United Nations has never relented, reminding not only La République du Cameroon, but us, that we are two and divisible. Two and divisible. Two and divisible. Underline that. Two and divisible. This picture was not taken by me. This picture was taken at the presidency of the Republic of La République du Cameroon at their Unity Palace. That's their president, Paul Biya, standing there with envoys of the Secretary General of the United Nations in 2010. The United Nations presenting to Mr. Paul Biya as a gift for the 50th anniversary of the independence of La République du Cameroon, the two maps, the map of La République du Cameroon and the map of the Southern Cameroons, not me. And therefore, those of you, those in our midst who to sit down and talk about federation or whatever, or any kind of thing, confederation, devolution, demand, whatever, all of those things, you are shooting yourselves in the leg. My take home, anytime you settle for less than you deserve, you will end up with less than you settled for. You want to repeat it after me? Anytime you settle for less than you deserve, you will end up with less than you settled for. One last time. Oh, okay, thank you. You say one last time. Okay. Anytime you settle for less than you deserve, you will end up with far less than you settled for. Thank you.